Yeah. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, as good as I can be. Been at home forever, so it is what it is. All right. Well, let's get this thing kicked off. I just went live. I just learned how to do this last time. So we're live on Facebook, and anyone that's tuned in right now, if you don't want your face, like I said earlier, popping up on Facebook if you're shy or something, just keep your camera off. And please hold questions Q&A till the very end. It'll be myself, Mark Allen, and Harsh talking a little bit about what we do to make passive income, regardless of what's going on with the economy, and how we do it and how it's kind of affected our lives and what the potential that it can create too is. So kind of like a firsthand perspective from all of us. So I don't know what's showing live. If it's, I think it's this. Yes. Hey, Clint, what's up? Okay, so to kick this off, I want Harsh to kind of start it off. And Mark has more experience than I do. So then I'll kind of like be the trailing person, I think. Harsh, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, cool. I think we're live. I put it on live, so it should be.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. We'll do.
So I'll mute my microphone, but go ahead and talk to us a little bit about the benefits of making passive income in a recession, or no matter what, basically, and how we've been able to do that.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Kaylee, putting this together. Mark, I appreciate you being on the call here today, guys. What I showed, I met Mark and Kaylee about a year ago. We've become really obviously very good friends, but they're obviously very big icons in the multifamily world here in the Dallas marketplace, and they've done really, really well in that world. So congratulations on your guys' success and what you've been able to do in a short time you guys have been in there. But you know, what I showed Kaylee and Mark about a year ago, they fell in love with it, especially with what's going on with the coronavirus. I hope everybody's really staying safe. Everybody's being quarantined. I'm quarantined in my office, as you can tell. It's a good place to be. But just a great place to, you know, kind of talk about a couple different things. You know, I showed this to, like I said, Mark and Kaylee, of how they can now, you know, instead of just relying on rent, you can now turn your tenants' utility bills and their internet bills and also their TV bills into money-making activities for the apartments complex and the owner. So we're literally showing how people can now not only make big upfront bonuses, whether you're apartment complex owner, syndicator, property management company, anything that looks like, you know, I've helped countless people throughout the nation, whether it doesn't have to be Texas, all 50 states, where they can literally make money on not just, you know, making money on rent, but showing how, you know, every time somebody moves into an apartment, they can make money on when a tenant moves in on their electric bills, TV bills, and also internet bills and obviously other different services that we offer. So it's been a great fit for Kaylee. It's been a great fit for Mark. It's been just phenomenal what's going on. So I know, Mark, you've had some experiences with us, and, you know, a lot of people you've talked to gravitated towards this. So just, I guess we could just have an open discussion of, you know, Mark and Kaylee, of how, Kaylee, you've implemented in your apartment complex. Mark, what you see the benefits for, especially a person that's maybe a new buyer that's taken over in a complex or things like that, how they can implement it as well. So I think going that route will be obviously beneficial for everybody that's watching right now. So Kaylee, if you want to start kind of talking about it, or Mark, how you see the benefits, either one would be great.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
about, at least from my perspective, how honestly, I'll be super transparent. So honestly, just like I was scared or apprehensive to get into real estate in general in the first place, because I thought it was a salesy thing, right? And then you learn the reality of the ability to invest and the ability to create long generational wealth streams. And so you kind of get a dose of reality. Again, here, you know, with apartments, you know, it was, everything is fine. We're fat and happy, doing okay. And I had implemented this a little bit by a little bit by a little bit. And then, like I said, let me be very transparent. When everything started changing with coronavirus, I also own a residential brokerage, which was bringing in quite a bit of cash flow. We had, or not cash flow, but sales. So different animal. We had 25 listings that were on the market and they got pulled. They're gone. So imagine, multiply that income by that many houses. And normally I could get them listed within, under contract in 4 to 8 days, because it's such a hot market here. That's gone. So I know that I'm not alone in that. I know that there's a lot of people listening to this and watching right now who have other different types of businesses that they run, but all of us have been affected by the coronavirus and by the inability to go see other people, see properties and things like that. So right now it's very key to pivot what you're doing, and to really go back to your contracts, your contacts, your resources, what you have and what you already are working with, and be able to leverage that, right? So if you have, that immediately got me thinking. I'm like, what do I already have that I can do something with? And so if you already have properties that are producing income, so such as, you know, a single family rental house, even your own home, vacation homes, apartments, any kind of housing, that's an easy thing to be able to basically provide electricity, clean, safe electrical sort. Like nothing is different than what the tenants or clients are used to, but being able to then have more income that's residual. And I think we'll get into the nuts and bolts of exactly how that works. But being able to leverage, like I said, what you already have. So no reason to waste an opportunity, especially right now.
And for me, I'm a multifamily broker, and I like to use the term advisor because I really enjoy being an advisor for my clients, not only on the sales and lending side, but also operationally, and just providing, just industry leading, whether it's technology or just operational measures that can help creatively boost the NOI of the property. I'm all about ancillary revenue streams and reducing expenses. And I thought, what ACN is doing here, working with utility providers, it could help an apartment owner do both. Not only can you reduce if you're master metered on an apartment building versus the individual meters where the tenants are paying the electric bill, if the property pays that, or even, bills back to the tenants. There's a lot of times where you can get a reduced rate through Zoom Energy and ACN, so you can reduce your electric expense. And then on the other hand, not only you're reducing your expense, but you're getting ancillary revenue that can be attached to the property or directly to the ownership. So I just thought it was a win-win. And me being, again, a true advisor to my clients and prospects out there, just thought it was a win-win-win for all.
Yeah, appreciate that, Mark. Appreciate Kayla. You're obviously what you guys are, seeing the value there. Also, another value is also like Mark was talking about. You can really now make every time, just like a tenant pays rent, you can now make ongoing income based on what they're using month after month. And with what Mark said, we're actually paying 20% residuals back to the apartment owner. And again, some of you guys are in a 3 to 5 year plan with an apartment complex where you want to be able to not only obviously increase value of the property obviously when you sell it, but with what we do, you can sell this book of business with it. And Mark, I know you're probably more equipped to this, where let's just say if we pay an extra $1,000 back to let's say the apartment as a whole, how does that affect cap rates? How does that affect that the other time of the issue, how they can make more revenue on the other side of when they sell the property? I think that'd be obviously a very well conversation as well.
Yeah, so I guess I could have got into that a little bit, but apartments or commercial real estate, just like any other business, is valued on the income and the expenses. So the net operating income that it produces. Commercial real estate, it's kind of commercial real estate 101, is valued on a cap rate. And, a cap rate is applied to the net operating income. So if you're increasing your income, decreasing your expenses of the property as a whole or portfolio as a whole, you're increasing the value. So like I mentioned, again, there was a way to create ancillary revenue stream for the property, but also, reduce expenses. So if, just for example, if you're adding, I don't even know why I need to do the math, but if you're adding $100 a unit, per year, that's $1,666 an additional value per unit. So just something as simple as adding an additional revenue of $100 per unit per year will give you $1,666 more value. So I think that's Harsh. That's what you were alluding to.
Yeah, just how would let's just say if they decide to sell the property, if that was a $1,600 value, how much more? Because with ACN, you can also sell the book of business with the property to the new owner. It's willable, transferable, and sellable. I think as a business as well, where the new ownership can take over, I think that'll be obviously a value add to when you do sell properties and add more money to the selling price for the owners, not only now, but obviously in the long-term gain as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't been involved in the sale of an owner who's using ACN or Zoom Energy and transferring it with the property. I know it's possible. I know, Harsh, you've been involved in that. But, you know, again, it's commercial real estate 101. If you have the income, you apply a cap rate, or if you decrease the expenses, you apply a cap rate. You have additional value, especially if it's transferring over with the property.
Yeah. Kaylee, I know you implemented at some of your apartments. I want to just to give the people an outline of how easy that transition has been, where they just send pretty much an email in and the lights pretty much get turned on. I think that'll be obviously a value there. You've gotten paid and everything along those lines would be great too.
Yeah. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. And one of the ways that we've had success doing it is whenever we have an opportunity, we move into a building and there's pre-existing leases, they are what they are, right? They just are until you have an opportunity to make a new lease. But you have to honor whatever is remaining on that lease until it ends. But with the people that are on a month-to-month lease at that point, or they are on no leases, we had that happen, or they leave and they vacate. If they leave and they vacate, we're going to then turn the unit and to renovate it. So we have to have some power on in there to be able to test out, lights and things like that. So we'll go ahead and just switch it over to Zoom Energy. And then what we do is when they come and they tour the property, we'll say as part of our services, we'll go ahead and just switch over the bill into your name. You don't have to do anything. And so that makes it really easy and just like an extra added service for them not to have to deal with that part of the moving and all that stuff. So that's one way. Then when it comes to switching somebody over whenever their lease is up, I do like that there are also a couple options. So that if somebody wants a certain name brand, there's some options there. And I was just looking at a property yesterday, realizing that we're paying essentially 23 cents kilowatt hours. And some of those name brands, because we get such a volume discount, it's like 9 cents. So it's 60% off, so it also would probably save them going from where they were coming from to a preferred provider that we have. So that's been the most recent experiences.
Yeah. I think, based off of that, the residuals obviously mean a lot. I think the biggest thing to, especially the economy with what we don't know what's going on, especially where it's going to go and what's happening. I know the biggest thing for a lot of apartment owners right now is to make sure obviously rent's being, paid and things like that. But some situations, I don't know, hopefully not, knock on wood, doesn't occur, but next month is obviously going to be a very, very different month based off of what's going on, because this is obviously very, very brand new. But here's a way you can make a lot of obviously upfront bonuses depending on how many properties you switch. And like Kaylee was mentioning, we work with big brands like Spectrum, DirecTV, Dish. We also do Frontier, so we do work with a lot of major brands to bring to your apartment complex. And then they'll only give you 20% of the full month after month, year after year, for the customer paying a bill for life of the customer. So the fact that you got somebody moving in, you can make a 20% residual on all the bills. Plus upfront bonuses. I think that's obviously a value add to what you guys are already doing, and it doesn't go against it. And all we got to do necessarily is just teach the leasing manager, which I've already done multiple different times with a lot of people, where I've gone into a place where I've just taught the leasing manager, hey, let me show you how to turn the electric on through us. Let me show you how to turn the TV and internet on through us. And based off of that, the owner's gotten paid and gets an ongoing residual check based off of that month after month, and not just growing very, very quickly. And the fact that, the biggest thing is, if you think about it, an average expense to an apartment complex, when you add, let's say, electricity, TV, internet, that's an average of $200. That's, per unit, it's an extra $40. If you do 20% of $200, $40 back to you month after month, year after year, just on that right there. And then depending on how many doors you have, and obviously things of that nature, you can not literally just make more money. 100 doors at $40, $4,000, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not doing the numbers right.
Yeah. And when it comes to people paying their bills, for example, we know that food, shelter, and guess what? Keeping the lights on are our top priorities. So there are, obviously we know the government stimulus is coming or has came for certain people. But there's also additional resources. So I just wanted to add some value too, if anyone is a landlord out there and they, have tenants that are saying that they're struggling or something. There's a place, you may not be able to see it on my phone, It's called findhelp.org. And then you can click on that. And basically, because of COVID-19, you just pop in your zip code and then it will give you all the resources that are in your area. So like where I live, there's literally 1,000 something resources for food, utility bill help, like Good Samaritan, St. Vincent de Paul. There's so many different organizations that are willing to help with getting your tenants' bills covered. So that helps them. But in a normal market and normally it's not a problem. And it's something that does get paid always. So that's why I like this resource. And then to do kind of like a calculation, kind of like Mark did, but like I'm going to try to be visual. I wish that this is going to turn out a little bit better than it is. But like if you have, 100 units, so 100 units, and then you increase their income, or over a year, you make $100 for each one. Did I say 100 units? Yeah, times 100. Yep. So that's that much. And then, so that's the extra income that you'd be adding per year to that. So that would increase the net operating income. And the formula is like this, where the top is the NOI divided by the cap rate. So if you were going to take the increase, so this would just be the increase in value you'll get from this one change. So you take that and divide it by the cap rate. Say it's like a 6 cap rate or something. So I'll divide it by 0.06. So that's $166,000 of value immediately added to the sales price of the property for making that one change. So that's where it was like a no-brainer. And then guess what? That, like Tar said, is its own book of business. So when you get to selling that property, and it's a commercial property especially, that you can either keep with you, you can continue making that income, or you can show that in the sales price and then let them take that book of business. If I said that correctly, right?
Yes, you did. That's good.
Hey, I got a question real quick. Hi, guys. So I might have came in a little late. I noticed, what's up, Mark and Kaylee? Thanks for doing this. I was like, hey, I've just been trading emails with Mark. And so I was like, I'm going to hop on here to see what's up. So ACN is a service provider that can pretty much wrap all the utilities into one at a discount, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with ACN, but I was just Googling it to try to get a grip on what y'all were talking about. And I mean, that's where the value is being added, is y'all are supposedly, this company can bundle all these bills at a discount than a typical, third party paying different people different services.
You're still paying the client, the apartment owner, or not the complex owner, but the renter of the place, the tenant. They're still going to pay a spectrum. They're still going to pay these bills, but because they're going through us, because we bring them so many customers, they'll just get a value add of a wholesale price going through us versus going through directly to them. So you're providing the tenant an added value. That's number one. And because you're providing the value, they're, with what ACN's already cut out with, let's say, Spectrum or any other companies, you'll get an ongoing residual on the back end, and obviously upfront for acquiring the customer as well.
Okay, cool.
I kind of understand it as, like, for example, one of my commercial insurance brokers, they have a super, super, super large group. And because of that, there's a few plans or a few programs that he's one of only 3 brokers in the country that can write those programs at that rate, because they have just so many people that are using their services, essentially. So they get a volume discount because essentially the provider knows that they can count on all that.
Right. So is this something where the owners have to sign up to be part of ACN, or this is just like a little fee they pay on top of this savings every month to use ACN?
So the owners just partner up with us, which I can kind of go through. Obviously with you, Chris, it's very, very simple how that works. And then you just pretty much, I don't know, Clint, where you're, how many units you own or where you're at. We can just show it to your property manager or leasing manager on site how to use the website. So realtors like to use us call us a concierge service. We've had a lot of success there. Mortgage lenders like to use us as well because, if you think about the real estate space in general, they're in a stop and go business, right? That's where they are in. Now we found a value of how to not only show what you guys do, but also, the agents and stuff like that to make recurring revenue, especially with what, something going on right now. It's just something you can do here.
Right. Cool.
So it's very simple to get involved. It doesn't take it's not crazy. But it's simple. The owners can get involved for only $200. It's not that, it's not that big. And then you can provide that value, but because you're making a recurring value, you're just paying for itself. I think Mark his first month made, not only is invested back, to make 5 times more money his first month. So that paid for itself, you know what I mean, in 5 folds.
So you're making, oh, go ahead. So you're making a 20% delta. That's where the residual is on the savings, is like 20%, and that is coming to you, the owner.
So the owner gets 20% residual back. The savings goes to the customer.
Oh, y'all. So ACN's paying like a little residual commission for the services.
Exactly.
I got you. And the tenant obviously is saving money with the savings on the product services.
So the tenant loves it because they're getting a savings. So the tenant loves you for providing, a great value and a convenience factor.
Right.
Usually the biggest question the tenant has when they move into a place is, hey, where can I get my electric from? Hey, where can I get my TV from or my internet from? Those are the biggest questions they ask a leasing manager. And they usually put out a pamphlet or a sheet of paper or who to call and things of that nature, where we could eliminate that, right, and just say, hey, listen, go to the owner's website, which is the apartment website, you can call it, which is us, and then the leasing manager can literally, instead of, you got to show proof of concept, and preach to squire, you got to show proof of concept of electric before they move into an apartment, right? So instead of them even doing that while they're signing up the lease, they can just use this. The leasing manager can say, hey, give me 2 minutes, I'm going to sign you up for electric, and you want to, let's say put a date out for May 1st, they can do that. And then the fact that May 1st, Zoom will turn on, which is our company that we use. Zoom will turn on. The convenience factor is there, and now the owner gets paid on every time the tenant pays electric bill, and the owner's not really liable for anything like that. So that's huge. So you're saving a lot of time as well. You know what I mean? And you're bringing a convenience to it.
Yeah, you're streamlining it for sure.
Exactly.
Nice.
That's where I think the biggest value is, especially in the apartment world.
Yeah, I mean, but even my partner did it, Jana. She's got a few houses. I remember bringing it up to them months ago, but I think, again, once reality kind of set in, we're all going, okay, what do we already have that, we could utilize? And so she texted me, she goes, how do you like ACN? And I was like, honestly, if it weren't for Harsh, I wouldn't do it, because he is like such a good communicator and is able to set things up. And yeah, so, without you, I wouldn't do it. So, but not meaning just not to say that it's a bad service or anything, but just to say that, that I like it easy. So I'm kind of lazy. So he helps.
And like I said, once I can get into the property itself and just teach the leasing manager how to do it and incorporate it in their day-to-day method of operation, which I've already done with over multiple properties, where it's funny. I got 9 units today from a place in Waco, whereas they're like, hey, listen, can we get these turned on? I set them into obviously Zoom Energy, and they took care of that for us. So the streamlining of it obviously is huge. It's simple, and they get turned on the same day or the next day, which is great, obviously. And then because now it's being paid and things like that, it's just easy. And the leasing managers love it because they don't have any more headaches.
Yeah, convenience factor. What sells these days?
Yeah. Plus, you're just getting, like I said, the bigger picture here is the residual on the back end. You know what I'm saying? The residual on the back end is more, I believe, than anything else. If you think about where the world is right now, the government's literally paying average people like you and I money to pay our bills, and we're making money on bills. If you think about where we're at. You know what I mean? That's why did everybody get a stimulus check? In my opinion, is to pay their bills. And not to freak out. And now we're literally getting paid on the bills that they're paying. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I'm thinking about it.
Good point.
freaked out, and then we're literally getting paid on the bill that they're paying. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I'm thinking about
And I can't remember what it was, but last night I
Good
saw
point.
that there was
it.
a
Freaked out,
new.
and then we're literally getting paid on the bill that they're paying. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I'm thinking.
Oh, I have too many noises going on my computer.
And I can't remember what it was, but last night I
Good
saw
point.
that there was a
Freaked out,
new.
and then we're literally getting paid on the bill that they're paying.
Lagging.
There. Okay.
There you
So,
go.
I was gonna say, so last night I forget what the stupid name of the bill is. It's not the CARES Act, but it's something like emergency money for the people or something. But it's a new bill that just got introduced to the House, and I don't know if it was last night or the night before. But basically, what it's trying to do is trying to fill in the gaps of who didn't get taken care of, and then trying to essentially, long story short, provide about $2,000 a month per person for however many months once that bill would be passed to pretty much everyone that makes. I can't remember all the rules, but it's a lot of freaking money. Like it would make our government print a lot of money, but guess what? Like our bills will be paid. They'll be taken care of in, even if inflation ends up happening, like we'll still have our lights on and we'll still get our bills paid. So
Nice. What's the threshold for that on the salary?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gotta go look it up, but it's more than it was on the CARES Act. So
Yeah.
supposed to be more inclusive. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm looking real quick at my Facebook, so I'll come back with more in a sec. My grandma. Christopher, one word, value. Okay, yeah. Richard Sign, ACN has allowed me to make residual income now for the last 5 years in the UK. I love ACN. Oh, cool. Y'all are even in London.
Yeah, we're in 27 countries, so we've done pretty well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
No questions over on my end though.
I mean, I think the best thing we can do is if you guys, want more information or want to get a contact, I think, obviously everybody has your number, Kaylee. Obviously,
Probably have my email.
You have your email, I should say.
Probably.
But Mark Allen, of course, can obviously help you. And if you need to get connected with me, I'll gladly talk to any of the people that are on the call here today, obviously, and, kind of share more information, how it works and things of that nature. But it's very simple. I've been blessed with it for the last 5 years. I don't know what I'll be doing today, especially in the time we're in right now. I don't know where I'd be. But if you guys have any questions, if you guys have anything, feel free to reach out to Kaylee. She can connect you with me, or Mark can connect you with me. It's very, very simple how that works. And I can actually have a conversation with you, on a one-on-one basis and, kind of move it forward if you are something you want to implement in your day-to-day operations and your, what you're doing and kind of make more money. I call it more money per transaction.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions that's attending right now? Come on, don't be shy. You don't even have to get on camera. Just type it in to the chat.
Somebody, Cameron wrote, are you seeing expenses rise as a result of shelter in place? If so, how are you combating the decrease in value? I guess that's one for you, Kaylee.
So what did I can't see it. So it was am I seeing expenses increase and how am I combating that?
So Cameron asked the question in the chat on Zoom here. It says, are you seeing expenses rise as a result of shelter in place, quote unquote? If so, how are you combating the decrease in value?
Decrease in value, got it. I don't know if I'm seeing increase in expenses yet. So right now, as far as like collections go, we have like, for example, our Phoenix property, the report we got was, and again, we're not even done with the month. I have waived late fees. So there is a little bit of reduced income there, but I mean, we'll just assume they're paying on time basically. So not a huge loss, but the Phoenix property, for example, normally is about 92% collected. It's kind of newer. So we're still like getting rid of people who aren't paying. But this month it came in at 88.6% paid. And then more, I think another almost 10%, 9% promises to pay. And so usually those get met just within another week or so, and more likely they'll pay because they're not getting an extra late fee before the end of the month anyway. So pretty much across actually all the properties, it's been pretty similar to collections. So as far as that being an extra expense, like, your your monthly income going down. And so therefore you having to, I don't know how tight people's, spread is between their mortgage payments, keeping the lights on, between their cash flow. But I haven't seen that yet in any of my properties. I'm not sure. I'm seeing a few properties right now that were listed and then people fell out. And so they're still wanting to sell them. So I haven't dug into the guts of them quite yet to see why they need out, but they want to get out. So anyway, so increase or decrease in income. I don't know. Like, so as long as like everybody's paying the rent, I mean, the income's the same. So far I haven't seen an effect. And then if everybody's checks are going to be hitting within the next month or so, then I would think that it wouldn't be an issue based on our C-class properties to pay, because I mean, it's like rents at like $600, $700. So it's not the whole check, it's half the checks. You still have money to eat, still have money to pay other bills, and be smart with paying minimum payments on credit cards, stuff like that. So I haven't really seen an increase, or sorry, I think the question was a decrease in value from increased expenses so far. And Mark, if you're seeing anything different or know anything different, please chime in, because challenges that are real are good to talk about.
Mark had to do another Zoom call at 2:30, so he stepped out real quick.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody else wrote Bone Nerman.
Yeah.
She said, I first started using ACN about 5 years ago. That's great. And then Robert Klein said, many of the operators have told me that there are suspending distributions and cab expenses.
That they're what? Suspending distributions and CapEx? Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've done that, but it's not decreasing income. I mean, everything's just stable. So income is what's incoming, right? But as far as, it's on some buildings where we had some in progress renovations. Yeah, we finished that, right? But then stopped all the big major projects, that were going to be, really, really big head turners for the, how do you say it? The curb appeal, that's how you say it. That kind of stuff is kind of stopped. Yeah, because we really don't know how long this is going to go. We just immediately assumed, okay, this goes on for 12 months. And then how much above, again, paying our mortgage are we? Do we have enough left in reserves to where we don't need to go back to our investors to do a capital call? Do we have enough to, like I said, keep the lights on, pay the bills we have to? We do have to keep up the grass. We do have to pay, maybe one staff member, we kind of, either have reduced hours or something like that. But again, so far this month, income has not changed. So I don't know if that answered that or not. I wish I could see it because I'm such a visual person. I can't see the stupid comment.
If you click Kaylee on Zoom and go to chats, it'll show you right there. Go to Zoom.
Well, so right now, because I'm live, I think is because I'm live. I've got the Facebook window up, and then the Zoom window is like the videos of all the people that are participating over on the side. And then I don't see anything else.
Got it.
With Zoom, it like went away. And then my little cursor lollipop thing is just spinning, doing nothing for me. So Harsh, did I answer that, or is there more that I can say?
That's probably it. You're good. I think that's good.
Okay.
I think somebody on Facebook actually wrote, how do I pitch it to property manager? Should I ask to speak to the owner, or does the property manager handle the sign-up process? Are we signing up the owner or the business? So to answer your question, Chris, the owner usually signs up, and then they usually share with the property manager, and obviously, get it implemented in that regards. That's kind of the best way to go about it. Property managers, they usually will bring it back. Either way you go, as long as it's being implemented in the property and getting the customers. Either way, it's a win-win situation for both the property management company and the ownership.
Yeah, I'll speak to that. The owner is the boss, so that's the person that makes the decisions. Even if the property manager doesn't like it, that's what's happening. So yeah, the owner. Yeah.
I think that's it for questions.
Ooh, I've got one. I think that's what you actually just read.
Yep.
Should I ask to speak to the owners, or does the property manager handle it? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like talk to principals, talk to the people who buy the properties. Yeah. So best place to do that is at a title company. I
Well, think that's
figured
good.
that out.
I think that's good, Kaylee. If you guys have more, if you guys rewatch this video and you guys have more questions, you want to reach out to Kaylee. She'll put you in touch with me, Clint, if you want more information. And Kaylee can give you obviously my information, whatever that looks like. If you want more, obviously how this works and how it can be implemented and obviously in your day-to-day operations. Like I said, we're working with a lot of people, not just in Dallas, Texas, but throughout all 50 states, and it's worked out very, very well for a lot of people that are implementing this in their day-to-day activities. They're making really, really good recurrent revenue based off of it. So if you guys have any questions or anything along those lines, I'd love to help everybody and see what we can do together.
And one thing I'll do for everybody, I made this morning. I swear my brain's like going nuts right now because there's like nothing left to do right now besides learn and change things. But this morning I actually created a form, and the form is just basically for me to look at where you're currently at and figure out how much additional income is possible to bring in. So again, kind of seeing what you're working with and then being able to share how much additional income you could be bringing in. So I'm going to grab the link. And then I don't know, again, I can't see the chat. If you guys will put your emails into the chat, and I'm trying to get the form to pull up. I can add that in there, and then I'll also add it on my Facebook Live that's going on right now. And it's just a couple of quick questions, and you'll be able to figure out, like I said, where you're at and figure out what you can do. So that maybe will make it a little bit more enticing for you to actually take action, today and make a decision. But even if it's, so you either have properties and you can leverage those properties, or you have a lot of time right now. Either way, it's something that you can do to help other people. So for example, like my place I'm sitting in right now, my phone bill, I've switched over to their thing with Verizon. The house is on Zoom Energy. The internet is AT&T. So anyway, it's all in the same deal. Well, people that are in your neighborhood or your family members or people that they can also benefit from residual income from you getting them signed up, and then you benefit as well. So, I mean, even if you don't have a ton of properties, that's another thing that you can do. I've had other friends join, and then eventually maybe they get into being a landlord, and then it's like, oh, wow, it's 10X, but, I'll drop that link for you guys to fill out if you really want to know kind of how much of an impact this can make instead of just talking about it. You can see some numbers.
There's never lie.
Yeah. So if y'all want to drop your email, I don't know why I can't pull up my questionnaire right now, but I'll figure it out. And if you drop your email, like I said, especially in Facebook, or direct message me in Facebook, or here, I'll just give you my email address, admin, ADMIN at theapartmentqueen.com. If you'll just message me like, hi, or something, I'll get it to you. I'm trying to get it pulled up right now, but my computer just hates me, so I'll stop trying. Okay, let's see, is there anything else? Hey, Letitia, good to see you. All right, Chris, you got it. I'll email that. And yeah, any other questions, you'll have my email. So anything else, Harsh?
No, Cameron wants it too. He put it on the Zoom chat. Cameron at Gold.
Cameron, can you email me? I can't see the stinking chat. It's kind of driving me nuts. I can just see the Facebook Live, and then I can see like our faces, and that's it. Yeah, if you'll email me, then I can get you hooked up.
Kelly, thanks for putting this together. I really appreciate you putting this together. It's gone awesome.
Yeah. Like I said, I got to be real. Like, what am I going through? And like, I may own a whole bunch of apartment doors with partners, right? But at the end of the day, I sit there and I this is my thought in my head. I'm like, it could sit there and tout, like there are certain people that are in my shoes that, we're general partners. I'm not an IRO. I'm not someone that owns, what is it? Was $52 million in real estate outright by myself? No, I don't. I own it with other partners. Like, let's be real. And at the end of the day, you look at what really matters. What matters is your cash flow. That's what matters. So when I was really looking at that, some of my apartments, actually my single family where someone lives in it, it cash flows like 3 times more than a deal that I'm in that cash flow. Anyway, and then I was like, what else could I do? So this was just another way to create another stream of cash flow every month, to where you can enjoy your time during this time, and be able to make income kind of regardless of what happens with the market cycles.
Awesome. Well,
right,
Kaylee,
Email me.
appreciate you, Kaylee.
Thank
Clint,
you,
nice to
guys.
meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too, man. I'll be in touch.
All right, sounds good.
See y'all.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
I gotta figure out how to end Facebook Live again. Okay, I'm on the screen. Okay, guys, on Facebook, I'm gonna leave, but I don't know how to get off of this screen. Because normally there's an end button. Or actually, I think Harsh already ended it. Or am I still live right now? I think I'm still live. Hey, if you guys are still looking at me and I'm still live, comment. So I'm trying to figure out how to shut this stupid thing off. Go back. Okay. I think it ended. He's like, you're still live. I don't know how to get off this thing. I knew he'd say you're still live. Oh, I think my computer is broken because I can see myself live right in front of my face, but there's no like stop button. Okay, maybe if I just get off Facebook, let's try this. I did close Zoom. I can't. Yeah, it should be closed. It's creeping in the background. It says I'm still live. What is this? Because I've exited out of all my windows. Okay. Bye. I'm just gonna go.